I gotta say this. I know we're already calling, but this, I gotta say it. I love the edit. I love the edits and the
Oh,
design. In there. I think it's cold. I
I'm
think
getting
it,
into my bag.
yeah.
I
It's
am. I like
as
it.
long as you're enjoying it. As long as you're
I
enjoying it, I think
am.
it's sick.
I want to do, more of that stuff. I like the back end editing and how it all comes together. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that
yeah.
part. Yeah.
It looks
So
proper
thank
cool.
you. Yeah. And
Um,
I think like for me,
mhm.
this race, the just designing like the background itself got me really
Yeah.
excited because I kept thinking like, okay, what can I do for each race to just
Yeah,
personalize it
yeah.
and make it look like, it's unique to that particular race. So yeah, I'm already
It's
thinking
cool.
about, Bahrain. So yeah,
Yeah, it's proper
I'm
cool. I
excited.
really like it. Um, but yeah, I guess we'll talk about that stuff after.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, we're here after the Japanese Grand Prix.
we
Um,
are.
yeah, a lot to talk about.
Race results.
I think there's a lot. Yeah, definitely a lot to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Max Verstappen for winning the Japanese Grand Prix. No spoiler alert. Um, yeah. What? So wait. So Max Verstappen was first. Then it was Lando
Yes.
Norris. Then
Mm-hmm.
Oscar Piastri.
Mm-hmm.
And then Charles Leclerc. This is off the top of the dome. Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
And then George Russell,
Mm-hmm.
Kimi Antonelli, and then Lewis Hamilton.
Yes.
And then some stragglers. I think it might be, hold on, don't tell me. Is it Alex Albon?
Oh, almost had it. Isaac Hajar.
Isaac Hajar. Yeah, he's been doing great. Is that
Yeah.
Alex Albon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I don't know how far. Wait. Hajar. Um, Alex Albon. Why do I feel like Ollie Berman was?
Yes.
Is it Ollie Berman?
Yes.
Yeah, these rookies are coming through. That's top 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
love
rest
that.
don't matter. The rest don't matter. I don't need to worry about the rest.
Yes.
But I'm good with top 10.
Yeah, that was impressive. I like that.
Yeah.
We
Paying
don't have to do
attention.
that all the time. That has to be a weekly thing now.
Yeah, but I might study it now. You know what I mean? You subconsciously study you know what I mean? It's like, okay. I think because I'm just paying attention to like, I really care about what Ferrari are doing. I really care about where that Ferrari McLaren battle is. It's hard to ignore Max Verstappen in that whatever how he fits in with the McLarens
Great.
um and that competition. And I think after that, it's just I can't believe I forgot Isaac Hadjar, but I remember seeing Alex Albon up there, and I remember seeing Behrman. So that's how kind of I remembered. Um, but yeah, what do you think of the race? What's your thoughts on the race results? Um,
The results pretty much par for the course, I think. I think going into it from what we saw in qualifying, I kind of wasn't surprised. I know even we recorded the last episode before qualifying. And
yeah,
even then, we'd already, kind of assumed that the three front runners were going to be who they are.
yeah, yeah.
And there's no surprise. I think the track, of course, it didn't allow for a lot of overtaking. You
Mm,
know, there weren't a lot of there wasn't a lot of fighting going on, which, it got the result that we got based on qualifying times. And I
mm,
think Max had said, the race was basically won during qualifying. He was right.
mm. Yeah,
Like he qualified first and, we got a great start.
yeah.
Everyone basically, formed the line and maintained that. Everybody except, Lewis. Lewis instead moved up one position. I think I don't remember anybody else who kind of,
Moved
had
up.
that opportunity.
I mean,
So it was,
Yuki's not moved up a couple of
yeah,
places.
and Yuki, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was as expected. Business as
Mm,
usual.
I think so. I got a bit of cough. I'm coughing loads right now. But
Trust me, I understand.
I, d- I was yeah, no. I was really excited about the beginning because like
Hmm.
when they took their positions on the grid after the formation lap, you would see like Norris kind of putting his car in and Max Verstappen putting his car in, and then and I was like, oh, what's gonna happen? and everyone got away
Mhm.
safe, and that's always good because you want people to be safe. But there's something about everyone getting away safe that's kind of like, ah, it's kind of like, ah.
I'm just
Okay,
gonna
cool.
start now. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna fall into line. We get a nice, clean race, no safety cars, no crashes.
yeah, which is good.
And
This is
yeah,
good for health,
that's what you want.
but it's not great for. This
But
sounds crazy. I'm being facetious a little bit, but I'm saying ultimately the results. Like my prediction. I said there'll be some. I remember this was before qualifying. I said there'll be something surprising. Someone will be there that's surprising. I guess I can kind of claim Max Verstappen qualifying in P1 as surprising. I didn't know. I didn't know a car outside of the McLaren team will finish top. I mean, in one and two. Um, but it definitely seems like that's the split. Max Verstappen and the McLarens, and then Mercedes and the Ferraris. Um, and and yeah, Max Verstappen is just proven that he is a very precise, clinical uh driver that drives on the limits. Um, because yeah, the Red Bull, everyone's talking about the Red Bull not being the Red Bull of old, and he's still able to extract that pace out of it. Um, so yeah, I do see him kind of like a bit of a robot. You know what I mean? He's kind of like a like RoboCop behind the wheel. So
I
um,
agree.
yeah,
Like you can't take that away from him. He drove an
no,
amazing race. He
yeah,
made zero mistakes. He did what needed to be done
yeah,
and came away with a result that, he got. Like I don't see what he could have done differently or what he should have done differently. It's nothing because like he drove a perfect race. He was phenomenal from
yeah,
qualifying to the race. And he is listen, as much as I have hated on Max Verstappen, I know I have, okay? Like some of it is recorded, some of it is
yeah,
online. But I think too, that was, earlier on when he kind of, was still trying to find his voice as well and trying, he was the underdog. He was the person that was coming in trying to take the top spot from the person that I love and admire most in the sport. So
hmm
a little friction there. I can admit that. It took me a little while to be like, yeah, okay, he's good. And now
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, he's literally a once in a generation talent. I'm not going to
yeah,
deny that. He's an
yeah.
amazing driver.
He
He
definitely
has
is.
amazing instincts and he definitely can pull stuff, extract stuff from, a car that not many drivers can.
Yeah, it is a good car. The Red Bull Honda engine is like it is a good car, but what he's doing with it is like a lot of drivers when there's things that go wrong, they uh they blame everything but
Hmm.
themselves. Um, and even though Max does that too, I feel like for more often than not, he's able, if the car is in working order, he's able to get the most out of it. So he doesn't leave much room for excuses to complain about things. Like he'll be complaining, but he would have finished P2. Do you know what I mean? It's like we need to
Facts.
get better, and he'll be up. Do you know what I mean? And that's commendable.
I agree.
I don't think he does himself any favors because he's not really likable, but at the same time, that's also commendable. Like, there's many things he said and done in the past. It's kind of like that's not nice, Max. But at the same time, the fact that he doesn't care about anything other than driving, that's also kind of commendable. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, he
Exactly.
doesn't care about nothing else. Who does that remind me of? There's another sports figure that's like that. That all they care about is the sport. It doesn't they don't care about how they like. They don't care about how they communicate themselves or yeah, how they are in interviews. They're just what they are. Um,
It is
and
what it is.
yeah, it is what it is. So yeah,
I
yeah,
agree because listen, I struggled hard over the years to find something I like about Max Verstappen, like hard. And I was like, I do not want to be hating on this kid all the time. Like, he's just like blank man, just out there, no emotion, and the emotion that he does show, I don't agree with it. And then it occurred to me, well, you know what? this is why Chazoroho is important.
Yeah.
Because
Bringing treasure with
it
it.
allows you to be very introspective of oneself.
Mm,
It's not always about you, but it is.
mm,
It's
yeah.
like this conundrum of what is it that I identify in him that reminds me of that part of myself that I don't like?
That's
Do you know what I
deep.
mean?
That's deep. Is the thing that
Like,
you're like, I
what
don't
is
want to
it?
see that in myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really that no take no prisoners type attitude, like you don't really
Yeah.
care about what is going on around you. You just want to get the result that you want to get.
Yeah.
And a part of me was like, I have to respect that.
Yeah.
But coming into this 2025 season, and even, at the end of 2024, it was for me his ability to love someone else's child the way he does,
You told me about
Lady
this. I was
T.
like,
Okay?
I didn't even know Max was
Listen,
even opening up
I'm
about anything
telling you,
like that. Wait, so what is that again? Max is what?
it's open. He has not like opened up about his private life in that way. It's
Okay.
literally, and I'm a person that I like to pay attention to people's actions. Like
Mm,
people can say whatever they want. Like my grandmother always used to say that when we were kids. Mouth,
mm.
teeth, and tongue mean for say anything. Like that, you can say whatever you want with your mouth. But what
Yeah.
someone does with their actions, it tells you everything you need to know about that person. And
Mm,
just like when he does not know he's being recorded, okay? When you can see him interacting with that little girl in the pit and in and around the paddock, just how attentive he is and how she
yeah.
loves on him tells me everything I need to know. Okay?
Okay.
Because let me say
Okay.
something. Kids, they will say whatever it is that's on their
Yeah.
mind. Okay?
Yeah.
They don't have time to censor themselves. They don't have time to think about how it's going to make you feel or how it's going to make you look or any of that. So when a
Mm,
child can interact with you in the purest form and you can see that that's love, I respect that. And that's not his
yeah.
kid. That's somebody else's
But wait.
child.
Oh, I see. So he's with a woman that had a child already.
Yes. Even
Okay.
that in tells me a lot.
Yeah.
That in and of itself makes me respect him. Being a single mother myself. Like
Mm,
I'm in a position where I'm not even willing to introduce someone into my circle just because of how protective I am of my child and knowing that like how much I want someone to love on her the way I love on her. You know what I mean?
mm,
I'm not
yeah.
even willing to take that chance. So the mere fact that I am seeing this in real time, it's not him out there talking about it because
Yeah.
he's not putting his private life on blast. It's me seeing like the interaction from a bird's eye view of like random photos of him in the paddock and in the pit lane. Like that's
Yeah.
literally it. How that little girl loves on him and how he loves on her. Like
Yeah.
that's what has really he's earned my respect. Let's put it
Mm.
like that.
That's crazy, man. All it takes a
Hmm.
picture says 1,000 words, as they say, but it's like, yo, it's like everyone sees something and they have a million interpretations of it. I think that's why it's important to kind of like
Hmm.
protect your energy. And
I agree.
Lewis is super out there, and that's what I think on the flip side, it's super hard to do that because he's super out there and he's super likable, and he protects his energy even though there's a lot on display. But Max is the opposite. Max seems to like keep a lot tucked and hidden,
Hmm.
and so there's a lot that you can like delve into and like um yeah project as good and bad about him. But one thing you could definitely say for sure is that he puts the driving first. Um, yeah, he puts his work in, and all these stories you hear about him is all to do with his like his diligence to his work as an F1 driver. So, yeah,
I
man,
agree.
at the very least you can respect that. So, shout out Max. He had a great race today.
He
Um,
did.
and yeah. We got I don't know. I don't know. This race was so mad to me because I was like, we're gonna get to tires and stuff, but I was like, when I was watching, I was like, anything can happen. There's rain. It rained before the race. I was like, what does this mean? Um, Hamilton was the only one that started on the hard tire. I was like, what does that
Yeah.
mean? And he was like on par. Like this tire deg apparently was the same was, do you know what I mean? He was doing great. Like he could have gone a lot longer than he did
Mhm.
that tire. So it was just interesting how the race kind of played out. Um, but yeah, what's your thoughts on like the whole, even like McLaren? What's your thoughts on like yeah,
So
McLaren battle, Piastri and Norris?
McLaren's team strategy. Um, I think during the race, especially I think right around maybe the last 20 laps of the race, I kept thinking, okay, are we gonna see like a handoff at any time? Because
Hmm.
what can happen is, Piastri clearly has the pace.
Hmm.
Lando's clearly not, improving on, making a move on Verstappen. So how about we switch off and see if Oscar can challenge Max
Mm.
for a P1. And if not, you know, towards the end of the race, he'll get the position back.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. That is one way to do it. That,
You
yeah.
know, in a perfect world, in a world where, you're working as a team, because it is a
Yeah.
team sport,
Yeah.
that
Ah,
would be the ideal thing to do.
that's very logical. That is a real logical thing. Like everything you just broke down, completely logical. I have no pushback on it. But I think what it isn't um tending to or speaking to is how emotionally and egotistical these drivers are. Um, I remember, and this is different. I remember when Norris was had to give a place back to Piastri last year, and and it was a fight. You know, what I mean, there's a lot of arguing on the radio before that eventually happened. You definitely get a sense that if that was to happen, if Piastri was to pass Norris, and even if he was to pass Max Verstappen, it would dig into Norris's. It would dig into him. It'd almost subtly be saying, "Okay, that's a number one driver," and I think McLaren are trying to protect that. Also, in
Mhm.
post race interview, Piastri said really diplomatically, he was like, he didn't argue much with the radio message after he suggested swapping over, and they were like, no. Um, so there wasn't much conversation there. But he also said that's what happens when you qualify, when you don't have a great, when you don't
Yeah,
qualify ahead of your teammate. I thought I was really responsible, and I thought I was really kind of like, yeah, makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
I
Um,
agree.
so yeah, that protects the driver relationship within the McLaren garage. But I do also think what you're saying is very valid. If they tried it and it didn't work out, it's that's something that's a Red Bull thing. I think Red Bull
Yeah.
would be doing that if you know what I mean, if Piastri and Oscar were with the Red Bull team, it'd be like swap, let's try and push. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
They're like any means necessary, let's try and get a
Yep.
win. Whereas I think McLaren are kind of like sensitive to how their drivers feel and making sure that they protect that team um, ethos um, and morale between their drivers, so that when it is a time where they really need a swap, they can ask for it and
They
they'll
can
get
do
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
what's what? But hold on, wait. Are we? I mean, maybe it's too early to say, but like I don't know. I don't think Lando Norris has that confidence of like I'm the guy right now. It's hard to.
It's funny you should mention that because now that I'm thinking back to the post-race interview with the drivers, and Max made a little jokey joke about Lando cutting the grass when the
Ah,
exiting pit lane
remember
after
that.
both their pit stops.
Hmm.
And I chuckled a little bit because it was a little funny. He
Yeah.
thought the grass needed to be cut, and he went over there and cut it. But then when Lando was giving his, little spiel, he said, "Yeah, I guess I didn't see that the grass needed cutting." And I was like, lean into that. Look at your
Bad response.
experience, best friend or not, like talking to.
That's another thing. I don't want to hear about you being best friends with Max Verstappen of all people. Like you and Max are best friends. That's corny, man. Like, like that's what I'm saying. Like, there's certain things about Norris that I'm kind of like I'm losing. He's losing aura. He's losing aura, as the kids would say nowadays, because yeah, like he's I don't know. It's like. Like even when like that trying to pass Max Verstappen in the pit lane was so it was so half-hearted. It
Mhm.
felt like he was like, oh, maybe I can do this. No, no, Max is probably
Oh my
better than me.
God.
It's like, yeah, I mean, he conceded. It's like if you're gonna do that, do it a
Just
thousand
do
percent.
it.
Stay on the grass or
I agree.
don't. Like it's just like I don't know, man. I just don't get. I don't get champion energy from Lando Norris right now. Maybe that's harsh, but I think you've got to be a bit of a bull. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And yeah, make a statement. I don't think Lando Norris has had a statement race necessarily, and he's won a Grand Prix, hasn't he? What did he win the Chinese Grand Prix?
Who won it? Damn, how quickly we forget.
Yeah, that was Piastri, no? Did he win
Piastri, yeah.
he
Piastri
won
won. He won Australia.
Australia? He won Australia.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Still got to watch, but that battle between Oscar and Lando will be very telling by the end of the season in terms of like,
I agree.
yeah, who's the number one and because they're not the same. Do you know what I mean? One is definitely better than the other. Um, and that's what I'm excited to see because it's gonna create, yeah, it's gonna create some tension because I know no one wants to be seen as second out of the two, even Piastri right now. So you know,
I feel like, listen, I may have, talked a little trash on TikTok about Piastri, but that's because of his big dog energy. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, the little dig that he said, it wasn't even a dig. It was just like a comment. But I was in my feelings at the moment because,
Mhm.
my driver
Wait,
wasn't
what did he
doing
say?
well.
What did he say?
Something to the effect of there was a lot of Lewis Hamilton fans in the stands at China. And then he was
Oh
like,
yeah,
"Oh, we're gonna need to switch that." Like, so, and I'm
oh
like, bro, grow your own fan base. Don't like try to come over here and
yeah,
push somebody from over here. So I was kind
yeah,
of in my feelings, and I said, what I said. I was like, "You've lost me." He didn't lose me. I meant like he
yeah,
lost me in that moment. I have a
yeah.
right to feel like in that moment, like, bruh, too soon. Back up.
Yeah.
You
Hold
feel
your
me?
horses, young one.
Hold your
But
horses, young boy. But what I
but
did realize was that him saying that elicited some type of emotion from me, which
mm,
told me that he has the type of personality to do what it needs to be done.
yeah,
That big dog energy, that championship
yeah,
energy that we're talking about with, that we're not really seeing in Lando with him, him conceding all of these things. I
yeah,
kind of
for
get
sure.
that vibe from Oscar. Like he's about that life.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely get it too. He's smashing it, and he's
Yep.
proven that he belongs because he kind of came out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, who was he driving for before McLaren?
This is a good question.
He went straight into
Go to,
McLaren.
go to Google for a second.
Um, I think he went straight into McLaren. He was kind of like, I actually don't know his story that well, but
I really don't even. Now I'm gonna have to go down that rabbit hole.
yeah, but it's like,
I think the only thing I know about Oscar, and maybe I'm mixing up this story with another Australian driver, but I believe that when he got this seat at McLaren,
mm,
that his mom, when he called his mom to let his mom know, I think I heard this on an interview. His mom was like, no, he said like, I'm an F1 driver and da da da, and she was like, oh my God, and then like she had a thought in that exact moment, and she's like, oh my God, because that means Daniel's out of a seat. And I love Daniel. And he's
oh
like,
wow,
everybody loves Daniel. Like, so it
yeah,
was kind of for him. I cannot remember if it was him or if it was what's that other one? Liam Lawson. But I
yeah,
believe one of them called
mm,
their mom, told them, and then his reaction was, yeah. He was gutted too because he felt it. But I think that
okay.
was him. I'm pretty
Must
sure that
yeah, it
was
makes
Oscar.
sense. McLaren thing,
Yeah.
but that's funny. Damn, that's funny about worrying about Ricardo. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I think for me anyway, just as a fan of the sport, Piastri came out of nowhere, and we was watching Lando Norris like, come on, another British driver, let's make something
Hmm.
happen. Um, so yeah, I've kind of like Oscar Piastri's kind of been in the periphery of my like observation, but he's slowly starting to become. It's hard to ignore him. Um,
I agree.
who's this guy behind Norris talking about? Let me see if I can like can we swap positions so I can chase Max? It's like wait, who is this guy? Um, So yeah, I guess we got to pay attention to that because that's gonna be
Yeah. He
interesting.
was test driving for Alpine and Renault.
Oh, I see. Okay, interesting.
Yep.
And I took him on. And yeah, but that doesn't. I'm interested to know the story behind that story because they don't just pick a driver out of the blue.
Mm-mm,
What was
mm-mm.
it they saw in him, and I mean, what made them pick?
He
Um,
won Formula 3. I mean, so I think that's how because from the looks of it, he has a pretty extensive karting career. And then Formula 4 on up.
okay.
So I think
Okay.
after winning Formula 3, Renault kind of took, from what I'm seeing on Wikipedia, guys,
Mhm.
Renault took notice. He went to their sport academy in 2020. Then he won the championship in 2020. Took part in the Formula One test for Renault F1. And then, yeah, I think he went through a couple of like contract disputes in 2022. And then 2023, he was with McLaren until now.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. Oscar's exciting. That's how I'll put it. Oscar is
Yes, he
exciting.
is.
Lando Norris. Uh, yeah, Lando Norris. Find your kahunas, man. Find your kahunas, or just accept that you're gonna be second fiddle. You're gonna be playing second fiddle, and the way he's like, yeah, the way he's talking about Max Verstappen being his best friend, I think, yeah, he's okay. He's okay playing second fiddle to to at least one person on the grid. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What are you gonna say?
Yuki, Yuki's
Yeah,
race,
driver of the day. You know who's driver of the day?
Yuki Tsunoda.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
I was kind of surprised about driver of the day. I was like,
I was
Max
too.
Verstappen. Are you gonna ignore Max Verstappen? But I get it. Do you know what I mean? Driver of the day. Well done, you.
Japan, I get it.
Yeah, he said in an interview that he wasn't really kind of like he had mixed feelings
Hmm.
about like frustrated about his race, and I think it makes sense. He qualified what P15.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I think he put a lot of pressure on himself. He wanted to be in the points at least. Um, and yeah, loads of things like that. But I understand, but I'm like, cut yourself some slack. They were talking about how quickly they would have to remove Liam Lawson's pictures and like how much limited time they had to like switch all those things around and branding, so on and so forth. And Yuki was like, "Nah, bro, I'm gonna jump straight in this car and get in the points with it immediately." It's like I don't know if that's how it works, especially in a car that has been touted as a car that's made for Max's driving style, and can be difficult to drive. Yeah, man, he did well, I think, finishing P12. He could have stayed in P15, so I respect it.
I agree. I agree. I
Yeah,
mean, he moved up further than anybody else on the grid.
yeah, yeah. He did his thing.
Yeah,
Did his thing. I know
and
it's difficult though, but go on.
yeah, it is difficult. Like barring any unforeseen, incidents, there's really no room for you to do a lot more than that.
Mm,
And especially in that car, it's your first go around, it's your first race.
yeah,
I wasn't, if I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't expecting him to go any higher than P14 after
yeah,
qualifying in 15th place. I really wasn't because I wouldn't have blamed him.
yeah,
How can you?
yeah. I think this was a good. It was a good race for him. To
Hmm.
yeah, people, if it was bad, it would have been very bad. If it was fantastic, it would have been like, oh my gosh,
Oh my God, exactly.
he'd be the front. I mean, headlines. Um, but it was just okay, and it was
Hmm.
reasonable, and it's something we can look at and be like, yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, well done, Yuki, man. Don't be too frustrated. I don't know if you got any other thoughts on driver of the day, Yuki.
I think his frustration is warranted, but I also think he needs to give himself a little bit of time, some grace.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I think that's the energy of a racing driver I want to see.
This is true.
It's like, what, I got 2 weeks to get in the car and get into the points in my home Grand Prix. I'm gonna do that.
Hmm.
And when you don't do it, it's like, damn. Do you know what I mean? Like I want more for myself. Like that. Oh, it's not beating yourself up can be, you know what I mean, a bit of a toxic thing, but like you want to see drivers have like high ambition, which is why I find like
Mhm.
annoying right now.
You, you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, shout out to Jack Doohan
What
because
did Jack
Jack
do?
Doohan qualified in 19th place.
Yeah.
He finished 15th.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I
I
think it's
mean,
really.
it's better than Lance Stroll, who's been in.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But let's not talk
I don't know,
about it.
man. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough because that guy's his dad is who his dad is.
I
Um.
really feel it for Lance. Like, I feel like we give Lance a hard time, and I feel like it's probably not all his fault. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on Lance Stroll to be in that car and
Yeah.
be in that car and do well.
Yeah. For sure.
And I don't think I don't think anyone can understand the type of pressure that man is probably under,
Yeah.
being Lawrence Stroll's son. I really don't.
Where did
It's
Alonso finish?
tough. It's a good question. Oh, hold on. 11th.
Yeah, that makes him look real bad.
Yeah.
I was gonna say though, um,
And he was last, Lance Stroll. Like, I'm pretty sure. I'm
is
pretty
Stroll,
sure Max
where did he
and
start?
Stroll, he
Yeah.
started last. He qualified last.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah. I ain't gonna know. I have
So
nothing to say to that then.
I'm
Nothing to say
sorry,
to that.
Lance. We gotta talk about it, buddy. Like, we gotta talk about it.
I
Like,
will say this though. You not Yuki, Jack doing to have a car that crashes out in full practice, um
facts.
for them to repair the car and for it to usually it's like there's errors and there's stuff that goes wrong. For them to repair the car and for the car to finish where it finished, that's a win.
I agree.
For the team as a whole. I was kind of like trolling, like, you know what I mean, rookie errors, for like not closing your DRS flap with Jack doing, but no, he did. He brought it back. You know what I mean? Again, it's like it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish, and
Mhm.
yeah, that's promising, man. The rookies are doing their thing. The rookies are doing their thing, unless you're on the kick Sauber, you know what I mean? It's like you got a chance to move up somewhere in the
There
grid.
you go.
There's always a chance to be in the points. So yeah, and also speaking of rookies, I thought another honorable mention in terms of potential driver of the days has to be Kimi Antonelli because
Hmm.
Lord knows what was he was the today it was announced that he was the youngest driver to lead a race. Um, and yeah, man, I'm just happy for him, man. I think
True.
he said something on the radio where he was like, did you watch it? When he said something on the radio and he said something like, I'm driving the wheels off this thing. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, he was in no position to like make place, or like pass Russell because I think he was like at the time like 5 or 6 seconds behind Russell, but he got to like 2 seconds behind him, and I remember him saying on the radio like, "Yeah, I'm pushing, guys." It's like, yeah,
I love
you're
it.
doing a
I
good job, man.
love it. I love
Yeah,
me some Kim.
yeah,
It does
Kimmy,
not
Kimmy.
escape me that Kimmy's initials are AK Antonelli. Just saying, like,
Oh, is it?
yeah, it's AK. I think it's Antonio or I don't remember, but he has a name before the Kimmy. So it's
Okay.
like AK Antonelli. In my head, I'm thinking like AK-47. This boy is it's out here trying to murder somebody, like, and not in a bad way, guys. Not in a bad way.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely
yeah.
in a good way.
No, this
Like
guy's
that
shooting.
does not escape
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
at
No,
all.
Kimmy. I like Kimmy. He's another person that is likable, really likable, and there's a lot of speculation and even like rumors and talk about him being like a really great racing driver in time, and I can see it. He drives with a lot of heart. Um, and yeah, man, I think it'll take time. We're only in the third Grand Prix, but I'm excited to see what the story is, um, as we go through a couple more seasons with him in the McLaren seat. Because yeah, he did well today, and definitely
Yeah, he did really well.
mentioned for for yeah, driver of the day. What was the list for driver of the day? There was a few people were voting on.
Is that what happened?
I said, what was the list for driver of the day? I think there was like a. I'll try and find it. There was a
I don't
few people
know.
that were
I
like
honestly
looking.
just saw it when it popped up at the end of the race. I was like, oh,
Yeah, yeah. Kimi Antonelli boosting confidence in Suzuka. Mentally tough
I agree.
weekend. I think.
He's doing very well.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
Andrea, Kimi Antonelli.
that's it. That's it. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. What we saying now? Oh, do you want to talk about the tires? Because I mean,
Huh.
I was kind of talking about it a bit earlier, but I don't know. Like, all I care about is exciting races. I really, really want to see like when strategies work, like competitive. Oh, Lewis Hamilton started on a hard tire. He's the only person that started on a hard tire, and it seems like um, even though he's on a hard tire, he's keeping up with the pace of the people on the mediums, like
Mhm.
early. So it's like, okay, if he's keeping up with the pace of the drivers in the medium tires, then he should theoretically be able to go much longer and pit later and then make places. Does that? And I was really excited about it at the beginning of the race. I was like, okay, cool. This ain't gonna be a track where people are passing each other, but it should be a track where people are able to make strategy decisions. And they're also talking
Yeah.
about the I think the undercut. It's like the undercut's really strong in Suzuka. Okay, cool. Undercut's really strong in Suzuka. Brilliant. Why am I seeing Lewis Hamilton pit like around the same times as the medium tires? First and foremost, and secondly, like, why is the undercut not working? I'm like, there's no space for anything. No one's passing each other. No one's making any strategy decision that's exciting. Even the McLarens did this thing where they kind of pitted at the same time. It was like, why did you not?
Mhm.
Why is no one like trying something? This is just I'm watching cars go around. It's like a parade. It's very annoying. Speaking of parade, there's like a parade outside my house right now. It's just so mad. Um, so if you hear something in the background, yeah, that's what that is. But yeah, it's just like and I was thinking about the tires, and obviously at the beginning of the season, they were talking about the new Pirelli tires and the compound and working towards more exciting racing. And I'm like, I don't know if it's done that or if it's like nullified. Um, yeah, especially on these tracks like Suzuka, where it's like the surface is a bit different. Um,
Mhm.
I don't
Because
know.
they did resurface the track as well. So it's a
Yeah,
brand new surface.
it's
Um, I
mad.
think George was saying something during the post-race interview that he felt like the tire compounds were a little hard. It just needed to be like a smidge softer.
Okay.
Um, like the medium was a little like even the medium was a little bit too hard, if that makes sense. But
Yeah.
in thinking about that, what I thought about was the fact that they don't it's not just like they have three, tires or four tires to choose from. That's not what
Yeah.
happens. They have so at the start of the season you have six compounds and they're all, graded in classification based on hard, medium, soft, intermediate, wet weather, whatever.
Mhm.
If I Googled it for Japan, they started with the C1 as the hard, the C2 as the medium, and the C3 as the soft. So
Yeah.
if what uh what's his name, Russell was saying, then maybe it should have been the C2, C3, and C4. But then that wouldn't have worked because the C4 is the intermediate wet tire. So, it's kind of
Yeah.
damned if you do, damned if you don't. It wasn't that wet. Like
Yeah.
even though, they did say there was a lot of moisture on the track before the race started, it really wasn't wet enough to impact the drivability of the dry weather tires. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I guess it's all a guessing game. You don't really know because the track is basically a brand new surface. You don't know how these new compounds are going to react. I think it's for this season. I believe there were all new compounds that were kind of um re-engineered to kind of fit what the tracks look like now in 2025. So I think it's going to be
Yeah.
really interesting to see, especially tracks like Las Vegas, where it's basically it's a street track. That's a track that has to be resurfaced for the Grand Prix to make sure that, nothing happens like last year when you have this manhole cover flipping up and damaging Carlos's car. So
Yep.
it's a lot that has to go into it, but I think for the tracks that are already pre-existing, that's a, Suzuka is a dedicated afterthought. I think going into probably next year, they might have to have some conversations about what the tires look like and what do you start on
Yeah.
to make it a little bit more
Well,
competitive.
I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna double check because I think my win. This is so loud. Give me 2 seconds. I need to fix this because this. Can you hear it?
I can't.
You can.
I cannot.
Oh, you can't.
What I
Okay,
hear
cool.
right now is the train that's going past in the background of my apartment building.
Okay, cool.
That's what I
Good,
hear.
because that was loud. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, there's so many things that I'm thinking about. The reason why I bring up the tires because I'm like, what what does this mean for the rest of the season? If there isn't a clear cut undercut, there isn't a clear cut undercut and or overcut strategy with pit stops. What does it mean if the hard tire and the medium tire are going at the same speed? Um, I don't know. I think just more reasons for us to be excited about racing is all I care about.
Yep.
Um, even that like skid block thing, that apparently it's made out of titanium or something like that, and that's what was like coming off the back of the cars or and making the grass fight. And
Cash fire.
yeah, and I thought that was like, and that was stopping a lot of. It's just there's so much things that are involved in Formula One that make it exciting, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, can we make it exciting in terms of like, can we do things to make the racing exciting? Um,
I agree.
like I think the disqualifications the last race was sad, but I just like yeah, the news in Formula One more often than not isn't really about like oh my gosh this person passed this person, and this person did this. It's 9 times out of 10. Um, Something that has very little to do with the actual racing. It's a disqualification. It's a grass fire. It's like what happened on track. Oh, everyone that started in the position they started in finished in the position they. You know what I mean? It's like okay, cool. Um, yeah, it's like controversy more than actual sports worthy news. And I'm like, I don't know.
I
It's
agree.
frustrating.
I definitely agree with that. Um, whether or not the tires are going to work out, we're going to see because we're going into the season. We're not, we're just now getting started. So
Yeah,
we haven't seen what those extreme, hot weather conditions can do to these tires yet. That's going to be
yeah,
interesting because we're going
yeah.
into Bahrain next week. And at the end of the day, like, yeah, testing, it was a little cooler there. It had nice temperate weather for testing. I
Uh,
don't know if it's going to be the same conditions for a race because from what
yeah,
I'm hearing, it's hot right now.
yeah,
So we'll
yeah.
see.
We'll see for sure.
Mhm.
I personally like. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. There's because I think what I was going to say was like going to be such a hypothetical, but I think we'll just have to wait and see.
Your hypotheticals have been looking like reality.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Because you've been saying a lot. I'm just like, oh shit. Oh, it actually happened. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
yeah. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
Lewis's thoughts on the race.
I can I be blunt? Can I be
Yeah,
like real, like blunt right now?
always.
As much as I love Lewis Hamilton, that's another driver that's starting to annoy me. Starting to annoy me now. Right. Because what I said, with the compliment I said about Max Verstappen, when he's complaining about stuff to do with the car, he's complaining, but you see him in, do you know what I mean, qualifying pole
Mhm,
position, or he's complaining,
mhm.
and he's like driving everything out of that car and finishing, do you know what I mean, third. Um, Lewis Hamilton, for a couple years now, has been complaining about things from like a loser's place. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
I think I understand what you're saying.
like
Yeah.
he's not like 3 races in, he won the sprint. Do you know what I mean? And he had a great sprint race. Um, but I'm like hearing him talk about, yeah, man, I just didn't do enough. Do you know what I mean? Today, I didn't
Hmm.
to qualify in a better position. Um, and then him saying this thing about, oh, they found something on the car that was taking away pace, and hopefully we get it fixed, and so that I'm able to kind of be up towards the front next race. I'm like, okay, cool. This is the last excuse I'm taking, Lewis. If this thing gets fixed and you're still eighth, ninth, I'm done. Not done, but I'm done listening to your, like, I'm done listening to your post race interviews. I'm kind of like, when, like, it's like, what's a team?
You
What's a
took that back so quick.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a team that is like that. That is what team is like that with so much history. Um, it's kind of like okay, I'll give a British example. I'll give an American example. In the
Hmm.
UK, we got Manchester United, right?
Hmm.
Legendary football team, and legendary history and story. Now they're doing so bad, like so bad. And every week, every week I have to listen to this manager talking I mean, um. in the press conference, like, yeah, we're doing this, we're changing this, we're trying to do this, da, 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 da. And I'm like, eventually I get to the point where I'm like, I don't want to listen to these press conferences because whatever you're saying, it's not reflecting in on the pitch. The American example I'll give, which is kind of a mad example, but remember when New England Patriots, like the New England Patriots, and I know this is a Boston example, so that's why I'm using it.
You
Um,
coming from my team?
I'm just saying, like, remember when it was like Tom Brady, New England Patriots, and now it's
Well,
like
it's still New England Patriots.
it's
Like
not.
Tom Brady ain't the whole team, bro. Like,
I'm just saying, like, no one cares about the New England Patriots. So it's not even like no one cares. No one cares about New England Patriots. I mean, I'm just
keep
saying.
bugging, guys. I am from Boston. I care.
Okay, all right,
When I
cool.
say I care, oh, I care a lot.
Who's your quarterback? Who's the
Huh?
New England Patriots? Who's the Patriots quarterback?
Damn. See now, what's his name?
See what I'm
See, we
saying?
just
That's my
signed.
point.
What's his face? No,
Case in
honestly,
point.
it's because I'm talking about. I'm not in football mode right now, so it's kind of hard to just jump back and forth.
All right, cool. That was unfair. But my point is really quickly that
Okay.
like when a team is losing, when a team is not doing so well, um, when a team's not doing so well, you got little ones. That's so funny. Um,
They just won't let you. You see what I'm talking about? This is
yeah,
why I
I feel
respect Max Verstappen.
like
Okay, they just won't let you live. Like he has so much patience with Lady P. I really
yeah,
wish I could have that level of
funny.
patience. Because right now, do you remember all those scenes with Uncle Phil throwing
Yeah,
Jazz out
jazz.
of the
Yeah,
house? That's
yeah.
literally what I want to do right now, and I know I can't. Okay. I'm aware that I
It's
can't,
funny.
but in my head, that is exactly what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
You believe?
Oh,
The whole day out in the living room
oh
and
my
not
God.
pay me a lick of mind.
It's
But
all right. We're almost done anyway. So I was gonna say, just to make my point, right?
yeah,
When you are the guy, people care about what you have to say, even when things go wrong. And it's
facts.
like this is what happened wrong, and but I'm like, Lewis Hamilton has been the guy for such a long time that we're forgetting that he's also not been the guy for quite a long time now. And so when he's talking about certain things going wrong in the car, I'm remembering that I'm a fan of the Lewis Hamilton story from many years ago, all the championships, McLaren and Mercedes. But I'm also realizing that I'm consciously trying to forget how crap it's been for Lewis ever since that, you know what I mean, that championship was stolen from him.
Mhm.
Um, and it feels like it's going to be a forever wait for him to win that eighth championship because no matter what, it's like, yeah, like something's not connecting, and it's not a one problem with it's not a one problem with a component in the car. It's not a one problem with anything. It's a consistent problem with a bunch of things.
Hmm.
So that's why that interview where he was talking about like we've realized there's a component in the car that we need to change, and hopefully I can be pushing further up in the grid. It's kind of for me. That's like, all right, cool. That's the last excuse I'm gonna take. Like before I'm gonna start getting, like, do you know what I mean? Like Luke, like you're not the guy of old. I think it might be time to retire. That's the conversation I might start having. Um,
Are we there? Oh, damn.
I'm just like, because I'm like, what else is there? He's done everything. He's done everything he can. He's done everything he can in Mercedes. He switched to Ferrari. He's figuring it out there. He's trying his best, and I'm sure he'll do great. He'll do better in Ferrari. But I'm just like, I just don't want to hear the excuses. Like, I just want to see the results at this point.
What's funny is, like, I was thinking about this earlier too. It's been 5 years since
Mm,
he won the last championship, and you make the hard decision to leave Mercedes to go to Ferrari. But now, when you look back, George is doing what he's doing and Kimi is doing what he's doing. Did you make a premature decision to hire remorse? Are you saying like maybe I should have just stuck it out for another year or two? You know what I mean? In my head, I'm thinking that's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's thinking Ferrari, is going to help him to do things that maybe if he had stayed with Mercedes, that he wouldn't have even had the opportunity. Because from what I'm understanding, he might have had a little bit of contention, in trying to get the changes that he deemed necessary for the car, and that probably turned him off a little bit, which would turn anybody off. I kind of know what I'm talking about. And
mm.
clearly, you're not getting the results that you're aiming for. So maybe I am saying something that makes sense. So I don't know. I think it's a lot of like, Monday morning quarterbacking going on. A lot of hindsight is 2020, and it's always great when you look at it,
I
in the
mean,
rear view. But
I do also think that it was a Hail Mary, like not Hail Mary, but like don't know where all these NFL quotes are coming in. But I think this is like, oh, Lewis Hamilton talks about he always loved Ferrari. I feel like for me, what that sounds like is I'm coming to the end of my time in F1.
Mhm.
What's some cool stuff I want to do to kind of give me a shot at, do you know what I mean, another championship? It's not staying at Mercedes. Let me try Ferrari. That's gonna be a whole thing. It's gonna be exciting. That's why he signed it before the last season started.
Mhm.
And we're like, oh, you know what I mean? There's a whole season waiting for him to. What's that gonna be like? I think he knows he's coming to the end of his driving. Do you know what I mean? In F1,
Yeah.
and so it's tough, isn't it? Because we wanted to win one more, but
Yes. Eight
I
is
don't
my
know.
lucky number.
Yeah, he's not gonna win one more unless the car is in perfect condition. It's not like Max Verstappen where if the car ain't there, he's gonna extract everything out of it. I think all the stars need to align for Lewis Hamilton to kind of win an eighth championship. Um, and that's what makes it frustrating when he has excuses. I'm like, bro, you got everything going for you. You literally got everything going for you.
I
So
mean, when you say everything though,
maybe not. Yeah,
like
Ferrari be
the
crazy
most
sometimes.
Ferrari's strategy is Ferrari's strategy.
Yeah,
And the car is what it is. Like, let's not forget, what is it, like 2 or 3 years ago? It was catching fire with Carlos in it.
yeah,
So like
yeah,
I would love to say, oh, this was like, the matchup of the ages for F1, but I don't think it is because Ferrari's car is unpredictable at best. Like,
yeah,
listen, I am who I am. And when I see something, I can't unsee it. Okay. Like when that Ferrari caught fire with Carlos, it was imprinted on my brain. I fully
yeah,
expect any race weekend that can happen at any time. I hate to
yeah,
say it, but
yeah,
that's how my mind works. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
for me, you you've already presented a case where anything can happen at any time, meaning anything can actually go wrong at any time. So I'm not really. Am I expecting Lewis to win a championship in this Ferrari right now? Clearly, that does not look like that's going to be the case.
Yeah. When I say everything's going for him as well, just to kind of like be clear on that point, I'm saying out of everything, out of all the drivers on track, um, like Lewis Hamilton's driven for McLaren, Mercedes, and now Ferrari. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's and people are he's the biggest spectacle in the sport right now. Like he's got all the toys. He's got all the. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of drivers who are driving with a lot less, and they're making things happen. So it makes it difficult to hear him. You know what I mean, talk about why he's finishing P6 or P7, P8, whatever. Um, Even I understand it. I just like. You know what I mean? I'm just like. Can everything just kind of like be? I just want everything to be good for him, so I can actually see what he does with a good car at the age of 40 in F1, rather than hearing a bunch of like, oh my gosh, there's been this issue, and it is. I have a lot of issues with Ferrari. I spoke about it in the last pod, but or the pod before last. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, at what point do we start actually looking at the driver and saying, you've got to do a bit better because you just got to do a bit better.
I don't, it's hard for me to judge as well. I think
Mm.
for me, I think, yeah, he's almost 40. Well, has he turned 40 yet? I don't even know if his birthday's passed yet. But I think, yeah, his birthday's passed. So he's 40. He's
Yeah,
a 40-year-old man. He has a very lauded career. This is his entire identity. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Him not being an F1 driver, he's been a race car driver for his entire life.
yeah,
What does that next stage look like for him? I don't know. I just know that coming towards the end of this historical lauded career, I I hope he's enjoying it. That's the only
yeah,
thing. Because after you've done so much, I would hate for the pursuit of this elusive eighth world championship to cloud the experience of you being the greatest Formula One driver of all time. Does that make sense?
mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
I
for
would
sure.
hope that that does not leave a bittersweet taste in his mouth. I just want him to enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I know he doesn't have a family, he doesn't have a wife, he doesn't have kids, he doesn't have any of those things to contend with. And that that could be a great thing and it could not be. Like, you never know. People are motivated by different things. And I know he might think that, not having a family, it's like, oh, the greatest. You never know. That
yeah,
extra, you know, little pillow talk that you get at the end of the night to say with someone who actually understands what you're going through, listen, I'm not, what do you call it, a therapist or anything like that. But I'm sure when Toto Wolff goes to bed at night and he can talk to Susie Wolf about his day and she understands exactly what he's talking about, I'm sure that gives him some level of comfort when the other
yeah,
person knows intrinsically the struggles that you're going through and what it's going to take for you to break through. So it might be a good thing that he doesn't have that, extra uh, pressure. But
mm,
hey, it might be time, bro.
mm,
It
yeah.
might be time to kind of switch it up. Like for some people, it might
Okay.
not be that big of a hindrance. Like Max is out here, being a whole stepfather.
I love, I love how this keeps going up. I get it though. I understand. Like, it's like one, when there's one thing you like about someone that ain't so likable. It's like, I mean, is there one thing we like about him? Remember he did that? Yeah, man.
You're
That one
right. That's
thing.
exactly what it is. That
Yeah.
boy good.
Lewis Hamilton has a lot of things to like about him, right? And so I think in a weird way, it's like we ignore some of the things that aren't
Hmm.
so likable. I'm talking specifically about what he said in the post race interview about a component that was on the car that needs to get taken out that will potentially make him more of a front runner. And I'm like, mate, you got disqualified for a skid block last time. And then when you got asked about it, you were like, you got 100% confidence in the team. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, just keep it real, man. Like you ain't
That
Lewis
part.
Hamilton old. You're not Lewis Hamilton old. You're with a team that is obviously legendary, but they are crazy in terms of like the things they do that just hinder themselves. And yeah, like I even hear frustration in the radio messages. It's like, where am I slow? And the kind of radio was like, you're slow in sector. What's it say? I think it's like 7, 9, 8. So it's like his response was like, not, but like, tell me like how slow, like, like
Like, give me
specific.
some data that I
Yeah,
could
give me
work
some
with.
data. The guy just gave him numbers like
Like,
7, 9, 10, 13. It's like, I don't need that.
and I'm
Which is
just
funny.
thinking, like, yeah, it's like it must be the water, I guess.
I
The
don't know.
hell?
I think it's funny. I think it's very, very funny, very telling, very interesting. And there's new characters coming into F1 like Isaac Hajar and Kimi Antonelli, and even Ollie Behrman that are like
Hmm.
just happy and raring to go and excited. Um, and I remember when Lewis Hamilton had that, and I really want to see him kind of
Energy.
enjoy racing, walk on track with that same swag, but also walk off track like, yeah, I was on the podium again today. Like I missed that Lewis
Yeah,
Hamilton.
me too.
Um, so anyway.
Me too. As we talk about how exciting he used to be, can we talk about how boring this race was?
Yep. So yeah, to summarize, I think we both agree that this race was hella boring. I woke up. The race started at I think 6 a.m. for me, 6 in the morning, and I woke up just in time. And I watched it like, why am I awake? Watch, watching like I'm getting excited. I got excited about Lewis Hamilton's on hard tires. I got excited about the track's a bit wet. I got excited about so many things that just didn't, yeah, I mean, manifest. I was so shocked at why did Lewis Hamilton pit on like the 23rd lap if he's on hard tire? Like, I don't get it. That's like 2 laps after everyone in the medium tires is pitting.
Hmm.
Don't understand
What
it.
was the point of that?
What was the point? What was the point of going on hard tire? Um, go longer. The undercut was nullified. Why? And then what happened with McLaren? Like, why didn't they make a choice where it was like, let's put the pit stop strategies at different times. Like, let's see if we can make something happen. Like, why? I mean, it was safe. They finished second and third, but like, I don't care about drivers qualifying and finishing the Grand Prix where they qualified. It's just not exciting to me. Like,
Hmm.
trying to win, like try a thing. Um, the only time there was an attempt to try a thing was when not Lewis, Lando Norris, half-heartedly went on the grass for a second. Was like, no, I capitulate to my best friend Max Verstappen. Like, bro,
Pretty much.
it's just a
Just gonna cut the
boring,
lawn over here, you know,
boring.
put
It's
on a
like
roof on
so
the right.
boring. Like, yeah. So that's my thoughts
I
on the
agree.
race.
I agree, and I think the drivers agreed because the
Yeah,
post-race interviews definitely reflected how
yeah,
boring. I mean, Alex Albon made a comment saying that the race was boring because I like the race what was going on my radio, and I'm thinking, yeah, because it's one of the first times we've ever heard you be even slightly annoyed by
yeah,
what they're doing in the pit for you to support you. And yeah, I'm gonna be honest, it made the race a little exciting to hear him a little, ticked off because there was
yeah,
nothing else going on. There was literally nothing else going on.
yeah,
So, I mean, I think Japan having one DRS zone, and not, it was a very
yeah.
respectful race. They were very respectful of each other.
Like,
Let's just say that.
respect is all nice, but I don't want to see respect in the sport I'm watching. I'd rather disrespect in sport.
The Japanese culture doesn't
I
call for
know, but
disrespect.
just a little bit.
I think they were probably, just a little bit in line with they were there for quite some time because well, is it a little break between Japan and China? It's like a 2-week break, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
a lot of time to, get into
yeah,
both those cultures, and those people are very respectful and very calm and kind of zen. So
yeah.
maybe the races are reflecting that.
Yeah, I mean, I do like some like fire, but I want it to be
I
fire on the
agree.
track. You know what I mean? Like fire on the track, even though this was a crazy time. Remember when Max Verstappen almost drove over Lewis Hamilton's head? That
Also
was
lives rent free in my head.
on track, but at the same time, it was like it was mad, but it was like this is exciting.
Hmm.
This is exciting because they both, I mean, driving their kahunas off. Um, and so Yeah, I just want to. I just want. I remember like even Lewis Hamilton passing Massa. I think it was in a Brazilian Grand Prix years ago. To
Years
I
ago.
mean, and I was like, this is exciting. This is on track. Things that matter are happening on track.
You're right.
I don't want to hear about the radio messages no more. Like to be honest, I think there's too much radio stuff happening. It's like
Yeah, you've been
what
saying that.
we're doing on track. Like yeah, man.
I agree.
Anyway,
Well, I don't know if, Bahrain's gonna be hot on, it's gonna be a lot of fire, but I know it's gonna be hot as hell. So
yeah. Hopefully,
hopefully.
Ferrari are up there because I think if Ferrari start picking up their pace and putting pressure on the Red Bulls and the McLarens, as well as Mercedes, if it starts getting leveled out, we've got more excitement. Other
Hmm.
than that, I'm honestly just watching the rookies. I'm watching Isaac Hajar. I'm watching Ollie Behrman. I'm watching Kimi Antonelli, and I'm hoping that they can yeah, make things happen. Of course, I'm watching Yuki Tsunoda. I don't like the one horse race thing at Red Bull right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, hopefully we get some more exciting races. What's the next race? He said Bahrain. Is that next week?
Bahrain. Yes. Bahrain is next week. So that should be great. I did hear during the post-race interview, what's his face? Uh, uh, Red Bull team boss, Christian Horner. He said something, and in my head, I was like, is he trying to be shady or not? Like,
What did
I
he say?
don't know. Because he said something to the effect of, like, what did he say? But he called out the other driver for Racing Bulls, right? Because he was
Liam
saying,
Lawson?
how impressed. Not Liam. Like, didn't he just fire Liam from Red Bull?
Yeah, yeah.
So whoever the other driver was, who was the other
So
driver?
funny
Who's
how
the
we
other
just don't even
Racing
know who that
Bull?
is. Um, one
God
second. Oh,
damn,
wait.
Isaac
Isaac,
Hajar.
yeah, Isaac.
He said, he says, yeah, Isaac had, a really good race, and he's doing wonderful things out over there, or something like that. But then it occurred to me, I was like, well, goddamn, hold on now.
Yeah,
I mean, okay, Liam, maybe shots fired, maybe not. I'm just saying, like, he did,
yeah,
Isaac Hajar did have a really good finish, as we said before. But it was just that he called out Isaac, knowing that Liam just went back to,
yeah,
I
yeah,
was just kind of like,
yeah, man. I
okay.
don't know. Yeah, Horner's not the guy to. He has no. I wouldn't say he has no. I was just. He's just like he's a messy guy in it. I
Yeah,
definitely
he
get the
is.
sense of like the bad team. Like we just want to win.
I
Like
don't think he's very tactful. I think
no, no,
when it
no.
comes to
But
tact, Christian is more of a I don't give a shit. Like, let's just get on with it.
yeah, maybe there is like an inability to be tactful. Maybe it's like ignorance. But I definitely get like from Red Bull, if they was to like go to Hogwarts and wear the sorting hat, they would definitely be
Slytherin.
Slytherin.
Ah,
Yeah, I mean, they definitely be Slytherin. That's a good game actually. Oh,
yes,
what would
it is. I just thought about it. I was like, we should play that game. I
we
love
should,
that.
yeah.
Like,
I
F1
think
drivers, what houses they'd be sorted in. Ah,
yeah. I think McLaren will be Hufflepuff. You know what I mean? It'll be
ah,
Hufflepuff. Uh
why not Ravenclaw?
no.
You don't think Aston Martin would be Hufflepuff? Seriously?
Aston Martin, nah. I'm talking like there's only four. Do you know what I mean? There's only four, so I'm like I'm going out of the top four teams.
Oh well.
I think
I think we should
Mercedes.
put each team in
Yeah,
their respective houses. I think that's how it should be.
yeah. I think for me um Gryffindor. It's hard not to give Gryffindor to Mercedes.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
that's why
you
you'd
know what
have
I
to have
mean?
more than one team in a house.
Yeah,
Because there's no way in hell you could put Mercedes in another house besides Gryffindor.
yeah,
It's just not
yeah.
possible.
But I don't know. Right now, right
I
now,
think
I'm Ferrari.
you would have to have multiple teams in different houses. Because you'd
I'm
have to
just
have
saying.
Ferrari and Mercedes in Gryffindor.
Right now, Ferrari or Ravenclaw.
Oh, damn.
Ravenclaw team.
Uh,
Ravenclaw. That's right now.
no
I'm saying
disrespect
right
to
now.
the Ravenclaws.
Right now. Like Charles Leclerc is a great racing driver, but he's kind of irrelevant. He's just kind of in the mix, but not in the mix. And Lewis Hamilton's a nice guy that just ain't in the mix. Other than the sprint race. Like if we're talking about consistency, consistently being in the mix, Mercedes have it over them. So Mercedes for
Okay.
me, Gryffindor, and Ferrari right now, Ravenclaw.
God damn.
Until it's clear that Ferrari are better, like a better team than Mercedes, I think it's hard to swap that around for me.
So there you have it. You're giving Red Bull to Slytherin.
Thousand
We're
percent.
giving McLaren to Hufflepuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving Ferrari to Ravenclaw and
Hmm.
Mercedes to Gryffindor. Damn, I
Yeah.
never thought I'd heard see the day.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I
All
will say this
right.
though. The only potential switch for me is between Mercedes and McLaren, but
Okay.
that's the only potential switch. But I'm
All
happy with
right.
my
All right. Listen, I know I'm a proud Gryffindor. Like just how it is. You know what I mean? I'm rocking with my girl Hermione and my boy Ron. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And Dean, right
And
up there.
Potter.
I'm
Potter.
I'm definitely a pot. I literally have a folder in Instagram that says pothead that I save all my Harry Potter like favorite memes
That's
too.
so
I should
funny.
go through that on TikTok one day. Like I have like buckets of stuff, and Harry Potter and Game of Thrones have their own thing.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
Potter could be seen as something else. That's hilarious. But I'm gonna send you a
I mean,
page.
it's a double entendre.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm gonna send you a
Yeah.
page. There's a meme page on Instagram. It's funny. It's all like Harry Potter like memes and stuff. But I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Japanese Grand
That's it,
Prix
guys.
done and dusted. You already know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
comment, subscribe. I'm Benny. I
And
mean,
I'm Rochelle.
I know. And
We'll see you next week. Well, no, we'll see you before the weekend. You'll see us around. But like,
yeah.
comment, and subscribe.
Boom.
Much love.
In a bit.
Okay.